Hi, my name is Amy Lou Fawell, and I am the mother of a teenager with autism. I'm a conservative Christian living in the Bible Belt, preaching medical cannabis for our kids. Mama advocates for unrestricted ratios of CBD to THC because clearly whole plant cannabis is a game changer for our kids. The 3 children you saw on the screen all used a combination of CBD to THC with high THC but low dosage. Legislators protest in misguided attempts to protect our children. They fear what cannabis will do to their brains. The problem with that is that they fail to consider what autism is doing to our kids' brains. And those same legislators are perfectly willing to let kids with autism take antipsychotic drugs like Risperdal, Abilify, and Seroquel at young ages and stay on them for a long time, despite known potentially devastating side effects. Legislators should be much more concerned about what these antipsychotics are doing to our kids' brains.
Exactly!
We already know in this audience, don't we? We know what cannabis does to our kids' brains. It's neuroprotectant. It limits neurological damage and it treats neurodegenerative diseases. And the government knows this too because it's in their patent 6630507. That cannabinoids are antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and they treat autoimmune diseases. And what you may not know in this audience is that autism and the patent are a perfect fit. Autism is oxidative stress, inflammation of the gut and brain, and autoimmune issues. The patent also talks about cannabinoids, specifically THC, blocking glutamate receptors. What that means is too complex to go into right here, but in a nutshell, glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter that our kids cannot regulate because their neural pathways are stuck in the open position, and it's like our kids' brains are on fire. Amazing work by Drs. Christian Wagner and Stephanie Seneff you can find on our website if you just, in the search engine, look for glutamate toxicity. But back to the topic, I think that cannabis treats these underlying medical conditions, and that's why their symptoms and behaviors improve. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a mom, but even I can see that the government patent in and of itself contains enough science to justify making autism a qualifying condition right now. But there's more. Many existing qualifying conditions are comorbid with or comparable to autism: mitochondrial disease, inflammatory bowel disorders, debilitating pain, agitation, and seizures. The alternative medical establishment is starting to realize that endocannabinoid deficiency is common in children with autism. If our kids cannot make their own cannabinoids, they may need supplementation by phytocannabinoids. My son, his name is Jack, and he's what you call a non-responder. We've done every therapy, diet, biomedical, and alternative intervention out there, and almost nothing has helped. In fact, most things make him worse. And he's not the only one. Maybe the first thing he needs, or these kids need, is to supplement their endocannabinoid system. And I ask myself every day, why isn't autism a qualifying condition? If there was a pill that worked for autism, my kid would be on it. You can bet that these families that we saw have tried absolutely everything, like myself and Talia and so many other mothers. But nothing helped for those children until they were put on whole plant medical cannabis with THC. Does cannabis cure autism? I don't know, maybe if the kids are young enough. But at this point in our journey, I just want my son to be happy. That's all that he wants. When these kids attack their mothers, or bite themselves till they bleed, or put their head through windshields, something is very wrong. We're not talking about quirky, neurodiverse people here. We're talking about children that are suffering. These kids need our help. Cannabis can provide critical relief relief to children who are suffering in their body and their soul. Mama is calling for doctors to recommend cannabis as a first line of defense before antipsychotics in children with autism.
Yes, yes.
Why must we wait until our kids are almost grown and then we're completely out of options? There are mountains of anecdotal evidence and thousands of years of safety. What is the harm? There is no harm. Cannabis is neuroprotective. The benefits of medical cannabis far outweigh any risk of harm. But legislators still want more research. Just because we don't have absolute proof doesn't mean it doesn't work.
That's right.
In 1996, that's 20 years ago this year, California made history by legalizing medical marijuana. What a shame that the whole country didn't follow their lead. What suffering could have been spared these children if they could have had legal access under a doctor's care even 10 years ago. Maybe they'd all be more like Rachel, who's made amazing progress developmentally. No medicine works for everybody, but our kids deserve the chance to at least have a try at it. Autism is epidemic. The first wave of kids are aging out of the system soon. And kids like these, the ones that you saw, severe cases, they have no future and their families are out of hope. Group homes are wonderful, but they will not take kids with aggression. And more than half of the people diagnosed with autism have aggressive tendencies and self-injurious. All that Missouri had to offer Nate, the first boy you saw, was a bed in an institution after they kicked him out of their school program. The institution was 8 hours away from where his family lived, so they moved to California. Delaware made history last year when they became the first state to add autism as a qualifying condition for their whole plant law. What a shame it will be if other states don't follow their lead in a timely manner. And if these Bible Belt states that think they're helping by passing ridiculously restrictive partial plant laws, they need to walk a mile in our shoes. It's a God-given plant. We have a God-given endocannabinoid system, and who is man to withhold it from children who are sick, suffering, and dying? I can't change my son's past, but God willing, cannabis is in his future.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to the parents that we talk to on a weekly basis. The parents calling from legal and illegal states looking for access, looking to help their kids. Some of the video footage you didn't see, children biting their own toes and hands in pain, suffering. We need your help. You can help by donating to Mama so that we can continue to help families out there. You can help by contacting your legislators and telling them that you support autism as a qualified condition and whole plant cannabis in the state of Texas and across the United States. What we're doing now in these days is opening chapters in different states around the nation and trying to empower other families in other states. There's a clinical trial at the end of the year for autism and cannabis. No seizures, just looking at autism for cannabis in the state of Delaware.